Ladies and gents, how you doing? This video is going to lead on from the one I made about Chris, because I realised when I was filtering through the deluge of terrible comments, and by terrible I don't mean rude. I like a bit of rudeness. I think we should promote more of it. But by terrible, I mean awful takes. Brain dead, backwards takes by very, very, very stupid people. And I noticed all over X, there are millions of comments by well-meaning lefty do-gooders, or the less well-meaning ones, the evil high priests of the woke movement. And in these comments, they're all having a pop at me and the hundreds of millions of people like me that can see reality as it is and have a problem with one very specific ideology. The one that Richard Dawkins, lefty liberal Richard Dawkins, has been criticising for decades. What was his famous quote? There we go, that one. Science flies you to the moon, religion flies you into buildings. Totally obvious, totally understandable, totally rational. In the good old days, people like him were admired by people like me. The original Four Horsemen, everyone remembers that from the noughties. Dan Dennett, Sam Harris. Well, I'm going to be mentioning Sam Harris in this video because this video is a response to the millions and millions of people every day that go on X and type absolute drivel like this. It's actually not that often that people get beheaded. You're talking about terrorists and violent criminals and implying that they are representative of the snack bar. Plus, it was misdirection, and that's the end of it. Snack bar for peace, a divine message of harmony. The snack bar is a peaceful faith, overshadowed by actions of a minority. It's been twisted in the public eye, and there are millions of tweets like this one. When a guy points out that more regulars at the snack bar joined ISIS than joined the British Army, and that's a proven fact, Mr. Fenton here says a few hundred radicalised kids doesn't represent the snack bar, and people like you make them easier to radicalise. Yeah, so apparently it's my fault. That makes loads of sense, that one, doesn't it? That makes loads of sense. Two foreign blokes lop Lee Rigby's head off in the middle of the street in London, and apparently it's my fault. That's some truly impressive mental gymnastics there. So I'm going to use this video to answer the question with loads of good data and evidence. Is it true that the snack bar really is packed with adherents of the ideology of peace? Or is it a demonstrable fact that, as Mr. Richard Dawkins said, science flies you to the moon and that belief system flies you into buildings? Well, if you subscribe to this channel, you've obviously got a fully functioning brain, so I think you already know the answer. But let's see if I can't scoop up a few people that are still on the fence. Right then, first bit of exceptional evidence for you is this famous video. You may have seen it, you might not have done if you don't follow politics across the pond too much, which was when Sam Harris, left-wing, liberal, very, very, very left-wing and liberal, Sam Harris was needlessly attacked by a mentally ill, degenerate Hollywood actor, Ben Affleck, because he dared tell people some uncomfortable truths. But he does a good job of it, so have a listen.
Outside of them, we have Islamists. These are people who are just as convinced of martyrdom and paradise and wanting to foist their religion on the rest of humanity, but they want to work within the system. They're not going to blow themselves up on a bus. They want to change governments. They want to use democracy against itself. Those two circles arguably are 20% of the Muslim world. Okay, this is not the fringe of the fringe.
What are you basing that research on?
A bunch of poll results that we can talk about. So to give you one point of contact, 78% of British Muslims think that the Danish cartoonist should have been prosecuted. 78%. So I'm being conservative when I roll this back to 20%. But outside of that circle, you have conservative Muslims who can honestly look at ISIS and say that does not represent us. We're horrified by that. But they hold views about human rights and about women, about homosexuals that are deeply troubling. So these are not Islamists. They're not. But those
views are anathema to ours.
But they also keep women and homosexuals immiserated in these cultures, and we have to empower the true reformers in the Muslim world to change it. And lying about the link between doctrine and behavior is not going to do that.
But the Great Divide.
I love how openly hostile Ben Affleck is to him. It's unbelievable. I'll put the link in the description. It's worth watching that. It's like a 15-minute segment. And the numbers are irrefutable. Irrefutable. And Ben Affleck looks like he wants to leap the table and cave his head in. So it's fantastic to watch. But the data's out there. What happened to the left? The left that used to criticize Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, the left used to love criticizing organized religion. And then a religion turns up that is obviously and demonstrably far more aggressive than the wishy-washy Church of England or the Catholic Church with the woke Pope or most 4B2s. Yes, the curly sideboard ones are a little bit mental as well. But you can definitely put a pecking order out there, right? And you can say, top of the tree, if you have to live in a theocratic nation. Top of the tree would be like the boring, wishy-washy Church of England. Then it'd be the Catholics. Then you go down a bit, you'd be at the 4B2s. And then far below them, the bottom rung would definitely be women can't show you their ankles or vote. No more drinking, no more partying, no more nightclubs. You're not allowed to read or write poetry. Malala gets a bullet in the head because she dared read Charles Dickens. I mean, it's mental that the left will refuse to talk about this stuff. And there's millions and millions of them on Twitter gobbing off about it all the time. And I have to argue with the wankers. Anyway, more data. The BBC felt the need to talk about it because the numbers are in. Do 20% of British snack bars really sympathise with it? Yeah, they do, yeah. That's why you're writing a story about it and putting bollocks imagery up where they're wearing Union Jacks. I mean, they don't want to fly the Union Jack. We've just told you the numbers. Mr. Harris has just told you the numbers. And the New York Times and the UK covered this story at great length. Hundreds more of them chose to literally go abroad to lop off heads with old Shamima Bagoom there. At least 1,500 is the number the Times gives. Joined to form a caliphate, while the amount of them that have chosen freely to join the British military, despite all the pandering and that famous woke British Army advert where the guy's got his praying rig on and he's on his rug, while all his oppos have to stand watch for him. Despite all of that, you can't even get the number of regulars at the snack bar joining the British military into 4 figures, right? The amount of data I could show you, it's never ending. I would be here all week. There's the Sun headline, the famous Sun headline, that 1 in 5 of them are basically siding with the Beatles, the head-lopping Beatles there. It's even worse in other countries. There's famous polls regarding their views on mattress munching. I'm sure you remember the famous mattress munching story, don't you? This one was from The Guardian. Half of all British ones think homosexuality should be highly illegal, and the other half think you should throw them off a multi-storey car park. I'm kidding. Don't think that's what the other half want. But the first half definitely do. And a survey for Channel 4, which is ridiculously left-wing and woke, so they're going to have trimmed a few percentage points off that number. A Channel 4 documentary found that 23% of them want full-blown Sharia law to rule the United Kingdom with an iron fist. Do you need me to show you any more? Do you need me to? Because I can do this all week. To sum up, I believe I've shot my bolt now and made my point 10 times over, right? If you're one of these left-wing bellends on X, like shit lips here, right, you are wrong. There is no discussion to be had. This isn't a debate. It's not a nuanced thing. We can't both be right. We can't meet in the middle, okay? I'm right and you're wrong. Not only am I right and you're wrong, they will tell you that you're wrong, because if you walk up to a gang of them at outside one of their big golden bell end churches on a Friday night and say, I'm with you boys, yeah, with your LGBT flag, a massive gang of them will probably knock 10 bells of shite out of you, okay? You know it, I know it. So stop the pretense. If you're one of the hundreds of millions of knobheads on X who's repeating taglines like this, just accept the fact you're definitely wrong, and I'm definitely right. And if you were a real liberal with anything like a backbone, you'd do what they used to do in the 90s and criticise very, very old books of desert scribblings that advocate stoning women to death, killing people just because they're like shagging the mates, and a wee bit of livestock buggery on the side, okay? But that's just what I think. If you think I'm definitely wrong, and despite all of the facts and figures and data and common sense and logic, most of them, definitely most of them, are nice, tolerant, liberal, decent people. And they're not represented by just a couple of hundred angry teenagers. No. This is all fake. This is all fake. They're definitely tolerant, liberal people. If you think that, please, if you can free your hands from your straitjacket for a moment, leave a comment for me down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, see you later. Toodle pip. Cheers.